The centrifuges were spinning. 3,000 of them, humming in a cavernous underground facility buried deep beneath the Iranian desert. They were designed to enrich uranium, to fuel a bomb. But on that Tuesday in June, something went wrong. Not with the machinery, with the code running inside it. The speed began to fluctuate. The vibrations grew erratic. Then, the metal screamed. Bolts sheared off. Rotor blades shattered. It wasn't sabotage by a human hand with a wrench. It was a ghost in the machine. A digital virus that didn't just steal data or delete files. It physically destroyed industrial infrastructure from the inside out. For decades, warfare was defined by borders, by tanks rolling over plains, by bombs dropped from the sky. But in 2010, the battlefield changed forever. It moved from the physical world into the silicon substrate of our global economy. This was not a glitch. This was not an accident. This was Stuxnet, the first known cyberweapon ever created, designed to hunt and destroy specific industrial control systems. It was the moment the internet became a weapon of mass destruction, blurring the line between peace and war in ways we are still struggling to comprehend today. To understand the magnitude of what happened, you have to understand the world that birthed it. The year was 2010. Tensions between Israel and Iran were at a boiling point. Sanctions were crushing the Iranian economy, but Tehran continued to push forward with its nuclear program. They had built the Natanz enrichment facility deep underground, surrounded by concrete walls and air-gapped networks. Air-gap means it was never connected to the internet. It was supposed to be impenetrable from the outside. No network cables left the room. No Wi-Fi signals could penetrate the walls. The assumption was simple. If you cannot connect to the internet, you cannot be hacked. The people behind the program were brilliant engineers, working under immense pressure. They knew they were targets, but they did not know that the enemy had already found a way to bypass their defenses. The weapon was designed by two nations, the United States and Israel. It was codenamed Olympic Games. Their goal was to slow down Iran's nuclear ambitions without firing a single shot. A kinetic strike would kill people, destroy buildings, and invite retaliation. But what if you could make the machines turn against themselves? What if you could create a phantom operator that told the centrifuges to speed up and slow down in a pattern only a machine could follow? The story begins with the delivery method. Because the network was air-gapped, there was no way to send the virus over the web. So, they used the oldest trick in the book, a USB drive. An infected thumb drive was planted somewhere along the supply chain. It found its way into the hands of a technician at the Natanz facility. He plugged it into a computer connected to the industrial control system. That single action triggered a cascade of events that would redefine modern warfare. The virus spread like wildfire through the local network, infecting the programmable logic controllers that managed the centrifuges. But here is where it gets terrifyingly clever. Stuxnet didn't just destroy the machines immediately. That would be too obvious. The technicians would see the error messages and shut everything down. Instead, Stuxnet acted like a ghost. It monitored the frequency of the centrifuges. When the speed was normal, it did nothing. But when the speed reached the critical threshold for enrichment, Stuxnet intervened. It manipulated the frequency converters to spin the rotors at 1410 Hz and then drop them to 2 Hz. To a human operator looking at the screens, everything looked normal. The system reported the correct status. But inside, the metal was being torn apart by forces it could not withstand. The virus stayed dormant for months. It waited for the right conditions.